Karl, I thought you was supposed to help me pit these avocados.
Oh, Steve, I'm sorry. Look,
No, this is the last one, so let's leave it now.
You know, I love the fact that you've got avocados today because I adore this piece of produce. It's just, I don't know, it's amazing. And
Are you quite finished?
Guacamole is one of the most beautiful dishes you can possibly have. I mean, it's amazing. Now, the avocado, I'll tell you how I view an avocado. I don't see this as just a piece of produce with an annoyingly large pit.
Really?
No. I see an avocado as a dear friend with a big heart. Much as you see me, Steve. I'm your avocado.
Oh yes, you're an avocado.
Yum, 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 yum.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of One Chef One Critic. I'm Karl Wells, food critic for The Telegram.
And I'm Chef Steve Watson of Central Dairies.
Well, Steve, I know you love avocados as much as I do, so what do we have to tell people about this marvelous piece of produce today?
Actually, Karl, they're the perfect vegetable to add to any fruit bowl. But when purchasing them, don't press them around the centre like this, because that's where the pit is, so it's going to be quite firm. Press them on the top, so they're nice and soft, like so.
Not mushy.
Not mushy. No, you don't want them mushy at all.
Yes.
Recently, I visited South Africa, and we ate them with every meal. We ate them for breakfast with the eggs. At lunchtime, we had them with a nice vinaigrette. And for supper, we would have them with maybe some shrimp in it and sauce Mary Rose. And did you know that more avocados are eaten around the Super Bowl than any other time of the year?
I had no idea.
Absolutely.
Now, that's an interesting little bit of trivia. Of course, the thing that I absolutely love about them is the texture. They're so creamy.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing quite like them, actually. No. Anyway, that's so much for avocados. Coming up on the program today, we have Fred Hutton as our guest. He's the news director for VOCM, and lots to talk about with Fred. What are we cooking?
We're making a Moroccan dish, and that's going to be a chicken tagine.
Lovely. And we have Chef Ken Pittman with us. He's the chef at 111 Chophouse, and he's going to do a shrimp and risotto appetizer. Stick around. For a complete listing of One Chef One Critic recipes, wine lists, and more, check out our website. Let us know what you think of the show at 757-9600. And we're delighted to be back with VOCM News Director Fred Hutton. Hi, Fred.
Hi, Karl.
Great to have you on the show, finally.
I'm delighted. It's taken 25 years. I'm finally here.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome to the set,
I had to change jobs to get an invite.
And this is not something you'd be doing as a normal part of your day, cooking, but...
No, not at this time. No.
I think we've got a pretty good dish going here by the looks of things, Steve.
Absolutely. What we're going to be making today, Fred, is a chicken tagine. So this is our tagine cooking vessel.
I've never used this.
No. It's a clay vessel. It can be used on a wood stove. It can be used on a hardtop stove like this or gas fired. So we're just bringing that to a warm temperature. And what I've got here is some chicken thighs. I'm going to be adding some turmeric to it. I'm going to be adding some
You could wear
ginger.
this as a hat if you wanted.
You can't leave him alone, can you? You can't leave him alone. And Karl, I'm going to get you to make some couscous there as well.
Couscous. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'll mix all the ingredients in here, then we'll put some oil in there, Fred. I'm going to get you to fry this off in that.
So like in TV, I'm the sound man. I just stand here, don't make a sound.
Oh, no, go right ahead, you know.
You just kind of get in the groove here now with us. And,
Okay, well, I'll help out now when I get my instructions.
Yeah, I'm going to give you the tongs there and everything else.
But in the meantime, I wanted to ask you, do you miss television?
I don't miss the hours.
No?
As I've told many people, why I left was partially because of a lifestyle decision, and it was a reset after 24 years. Just time to do something different, had a great offer, and decided that it was something to do. Look, Karl, you worked in late night television for a long time, and you understand you miss a lot of things with your family.
Yeah.
My children are getting a lot older. And I think I just came to the realization that at a certain point I wanted to do something. So essentially with radio,
Just pop it in there.
I get to go to work really early in the morning, and I get off a little bit earlier in the day so that I can have supper with my family, my kids, my fiance, that kind of thing, do some things in the evening, as opposed to getting home at 8:30 at night and just being tired, too tired to do anything else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then eating your supper at 9 o'clock at night is, I mean, you did
Yeah, that's right.
late night news and
For a
weather
long-
for many years.
Yeah, and it's a hard habit to get out of, eating your supper at 8:30 or 9 o'clock at night.
But I
You've
loved
done
it.
it for so long.
I loved the job.
Yeah.
And it was hard to leave that aspect of it and all the good friends I'd made, but it was time.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm totally enjoying what I'm doing
Well,
at
you
VOCM now.
definitely sound like you're enjoying what you're doing, yeah. And I guess in a way it's been a bit of a change up for VOCM as well, because I don't think they ever had a news director who was as high a profile on air on the radio as you've been developing.
Well, I think that, that's sort of something that I brought to the table. I guess the fact that I had the benefit of, being in everybody's living room or whatever for almost 24 years. And, that's how you make your contacts over time. It takes a long time to build up those contacts as a reporter and to build up people's trust so that you can, get the stories that you need to get. It's kind of like working in a kitchen.
Absolutely,
You just don't walk in and make this out of nowhere.
Oh no, you got to get your mise en place.
You've had a couple of years' experience.
So how did you find the change from, you had to be, like in the kitchens, you had to be ready for lunchtime, 12 o'clock, and you had to be ready for dinner, 6 o'clock. Now news is 24 hours a day.
It is, and social media, I've discussed this with so many people, has changed the game in such a big way that news has no shelf life. I can remember on a Friday, go home, and then all of a sudden you come back to work Monday. Okay, well, what are we going to do? Now it's a Friday night. You get home, eat your supper, and then you're on Twitter. You're looking to see, making sure I'm not missing.
Story. Yeah.
Because our web page at VOCM is 24/7. I can remember at points 11:30 at night updating something. You just jump on, type a couple clicks, and
Away you go.
press update, and it's there.
And we can turn these as well.
And then you have to tweet it, and you have to alert it, and you have to put it on Facebook.
And I think the media has become much more competitive.
Oh, absolutely.
Than it used to be.
Absolutely.
Certainly much more competitive than when I started many years ago.
And there's no privacy anymore. By the time you leave your house and get to work, the story's changed.
That's right.
And not just that you can wait to report it, it has to be done immediately. So, okay, I'm not very good at turning this.
So I think you're doing great. It's nice and colourful there, and it's beautiful. Yeah.
Was the media something you always had in mind, like when you were growing up? Did you, were you like me? Did you want a tape recorder, and did you want to pretend to be,
We can put these on the top there as well.
Okay.
Just sprinkle them
a
on.
radio newsman or?
No, but it's funny because when I remember back in 1999 at the Canada Winter Games outside what was the Pepsi Center, and I think they're getting ready to rename it.
Yeah.
In the meantime, my grade 10 French teacher came up to me. I had been involved in the yearbook committee, and my grade 10 French teacher came up to me and said, "So you got your wish, you got your dream?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, "We always said you wanted to work in television or in media in some way," and I honestly do not remember ever saying that to him. I can't remember saying that.
Interesting, yeah.
I thought that maybe when I said it, I meant that I was going to be, I don't know, on a comedy or something like this. I was known as a bit of a...
Oh yeah, you were the class clown?
Yeah, it's a great way to deflect from being, put on the spot to answer
I want to
questions.
explore this a little bit. Like, what kind of stuff would you do in school?
Oh, I cannot possibly tell you. I can't possibly tell you that.
Okay, well, we'll have to...
Put the zucchini in there.
We'll have to get that out of you on camera, I guess. But,
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, we had a lot of laughs. And, that's one of the things that, I guess, being in the news, when you're reading serious stories about tragic stories or fatal accidents, things like this, which you quite often have to do, people sort of get to think that you're a very serious type person.
That's right, yeah.
Because you always have to deal with serious subject matter. But
well, it's the image. It's the image you portray on television, and they kind of, that's all they know of you. So,
but I'm a fairly lighthearted person, serious about my work, and when the story dictates that you need to be serious or reverent towards it, that's fine. But most times I like to have a couple of laughs.
Yeah,
I'll leave it at that.
Now, speaking of laughs and somebody who enjoyed life, your dad, Dr. Charlie Hutton, was a wonderful guy.
Yeah.
I had the privilege of being in his company a couple of times. And now, a lot of the Huttons, I know your dad loved music.
Absolutely.
A lot of the Huttons, of course, have that musical gene. Did you inherit that, or
not so much. I inherited the love of music.
Okay.
But you can go ahead. Sure. I'm going to let you do that one. You got your hands already dirty.
Yeah.
I inherited the love of it, but the thing about our family is we're so big. Like, you know, my uncles and most of my aunts don't live here, but they all have such big families that we only see each other at weddings and funerals. It's so big. Because even every Sunday, just our own immediate family with my siblings and now children, grandchildren, their spouses, their better halves, we're up to 20 people. But we get together every Sunday for family dinner. Every Sunday. Unless, you know, if certain people are out, we rotate houses. So it's, you know, a bit of...
That's a wonderful tradition.
A bit of mayhem.
It's
but there's always music and food.
Yeah.
And clearly we haven't missed... No. I haven't missed too many Sundays. But it's always, I can remember, it's funny actually, that one time, and it was at my dad's funeral, and afterwards then people had brought food over and everything else, knowing how much we ate. I think it was a 7-pound roast beef as an appetizer leading into the supper, just dipping it in the gravy, which I know but you know, it was just that's our family is all about food.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
We didn't quite finish it all, but we ate a good bit of it. And it was very delicious.
Perfect. So with this then, I'm just going to put the lid on the top, and then we would just cook it on the stove. And that was it.
And I've got the couscous ready.
You don't need to turn this at all?
No, that's it. It all cooks in the one pot.
And the little hole in the top lets some steam escape.
And there's several knobs of butter in there to make it nice and
so
buttery.
What country does... I got to ask you some questions. This is Moroccan. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now... we're all set. I'm just going to nip to the wine cellar and get a bottle of wine to go with this.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Fred, I do have one ready. If we just
Okay.
stand to the
I'll
side there.
Step out of the
I'll
way.
just quickly take this one out of the oven, like so. Yeah, I've just been keeping this one warm, and it takes about 45 to 50 minutes to cook. And there we go. This is our Moroccan chicken. We're going to serve that with a little bit of couscous, and away we go.
Hey, Jeremy.
How are you?
Well, we have a Moroccan dish today, except we changed it up a bit. We're doing it with chicken.
Okay.
And it's got a little bit of spice going on there. There's some cayenne pepper, some saffron as well. And well, I mean, you know that part of the world, so they like their spice. So what do you think?
Well, I think you kind of got to play off the spice a little bit and not go too over the top, especially alcohol can tend to intensify the flavor of spice. So if you go like a really big kind of alcoholic Chardonnay or something, you're actually going to make the dish a lot hotter than it should be. So I want stuff pretty clean and really good acidity and nice floral notes as well. So to start off, from Spain, Albarino, Condes del Albarri Albarino. Albarino being its own varietal. Kind of like Sauvignon Blanc in a little way, clean and crisp, good acidity, but there's this real peach kind of apricot-y note on the nose of it, and a little bit more viscosity, which is nice.
So this is a grape that's only grown in Spain?
It's actually been growing now other parts of the world. People picked it up in California. You've seen it's sometimes in Australia as well.
Right.
But predominantly it's between Portugal and Spain. That's where you'll see this one. Next up, we did Sauvignon Blanc in the sort of pure form of Saint-Cyr, which is just the village in the Loire Valley in France where this comes from. This is Chateau de Saint-Cyr, the 2012 vintage. Great Sauvignon Blanc. Clean, crisp, great lime notes to it, great citrus, but the acidity is there as well. And unlike, say, your New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs that are very sort of aromatic and very gooseberry and grassy notes, this is a little bit more subtle than that. But you'll notice some similarities as well. And then last but not least, Norman Hardy Riesling from Ontario. This is basically Canadian Riesling at its best. You know, it's not completely dry. It's 11% alcohol, so it's sort of bordering on being in between that kind of slight residual sugar, but great acidity as well. Great finish. Again, you're getting a lot of the kind of like lime, pear, you know, citrus notes to it. A little bit of that, not too much of that diesel that you'd see in Germany and stuff off the nose. You get that smell sometimes. This is a really clean wine and just beautiful.
Just very quickly, price points.
Basically, you're looking around $20 for these. This one here, high 20s, low 30s for Saint-Cyrs generally is when you start to go. And this Riesling's at 33.
Okay. I'm going to go with the Albarino.
Excellent.
I like the sound of it, and I kind of think a Spanish wine with this dish is going to be just perfect.
It'll be excellent.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
There we go, and that's the last piece of vegetables on there. I've sprinkled it with a little bit of parsley for garnish. So let's go and see Fred and Karl in the dining room.
There you are.
Thank you.
Wow, that is a colorful dish.
Is it ever?
And It looks very Moroccan.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
And the smells are
Yeah.
good too.
Let's have a taste.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh my, oh my.
Well, you did a good job on the couscous as well, Karl.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That is delicious.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really, really good. Very fragrant.
Spicy,
I love it.
but not too spicy.
Not too spicy. Fred, I just wanted to get back to your dad for a second. You know, he was such a hell of a funny guy. It must have been fun growing up with Charlie Hutton as a dad.
Well, you know, there's the gallows humor, and I could, you know the expression.
Well, that's right.
Turn a horse from his oats.
Yeah.
He was a forensic pathologist.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
some of his work he would bring home with him and discuss it. I have a brother-in-law who's in the medical profession, my sister as well. So when they would start discussing things, I'd do this. I don't want to hear about
Time to go
this.
to the other room,
Or
right?
my mother would do the same. No discussing biology at the table. No chemistry, nothing. You know, you're not allowed to. So some of those stories were a little bit distasteful, most people. But I grew up sort of listening to all this. Very humorous. And you know, he was definitely one of a kind guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and,
he
we
certainly
miss
was.
him. We miss him greatly.
Yeah.
I must say.
Just getting back, you touched on new media earlier in the kitchen there. It seems that the media generally these days is in kind of a state of flux. Traditional media, newspapers, radio,
Absolutely.
television, don't seem to know where they fit in anymore or how everything's going to shake down eventually. It's hard to figure out where people are getting their information from these days. How do you think it's all going to shake down?
Well, I think in an interview that I did with you a while back, Karl, we discussed this as well. And this is this is the freight train that's going down the track. And if you don't get on it, with the social media, with the internet, the web, you know, all this stuff, you're going to get left in the dust. And even at VOCM, when you think about what we do on radio, a lot of people get it from our website. So we're almost competing against ourselves. The website is hugely popular. Other media are the same. Print, the traditional form of newspapers, they're really struggling, not just here in this province, but around the world.
Yeah.
But then again, you know, media is business, even the CBC.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, maybe a public broadcaster, but it's still in the commercial
Absolutely.
field with you know, advertising. How do you monetize something like a website? Or I mean, you can't give this stuff away.
No, well, I mean, for a website, for example, Google Analytics would be like a turnstile. So anytime anybody clicks on it, it'll tell you that Steve, clicked on here, and you stayed at this for a certain amount of time. You know, people talk about sharing all their information on Facebook and everything else, and this is a free service that you use. The danger is that somewhere somebody is collecting all this information about what Steve Watson likes to look at.
Yes.
Okay, well, you know, you must get emails about cooking related things, obviously, because
A few.
if you're surfing that kind of a thing, or if somebody is interested in hockey, that's the type of thing. Now everybody gets the weird spam, but I think that what people need to realize is that there's not just one form of, you know, people just don't wait till 6 o'clock to get their news anymore. It's all day long because everybody has the handheld device, and all you have to do is look around, and everybody's doing this, looking at their phone.
That's right.
And that's where information is coming from right
It's
now.
exciting times, Fred, and you're at the forefront. So
I am
good luck to you, sir.
The second stage of my
Thanks
career.
for being on our show.
Cheers.
Fred Hutton, folks, and we'll be back with Ken Pittman, the chef at 111, right after this. Well, 111 Chophouse in the Murray premises is a fine dining restaurant that serves primarily beef, the finest beef available, actually, a fine aged beef. You can also purchase seafood there, but I think it's fair to say that it's beef that holds sway in this restaurant, and we're delighted to welcome the executive chef of 111 Chophouse, as well as the Gypsy Tea Room, by the way, a sister restaurant to One Chef One Critic now. Ken Pittman, welcome.
Thank you very much.
What are you going to do for us today, Ken?
Today we're going to do a beautiful seared sea scallop with a sunflower seed risotto.
So you do seafood.
We do indeed.
Those were like beautiful scallops as
Beautiful,
well.
nice U10, big and plump. Usually
yeah.
we serve 3 as an appetizer.
Yeah.
We have a sunflower seed risotto that's cooked for about 3 hours to break down the green and make
Sunflower
it
seed risotto.
Yes, that's
I've
correct.
never tasted sunflower seed risotto. That's
gonna try
great.
that.
And a little wild mushroom ragu.
Excellent.
Okay.
Well,
Let's go ahead
let's
then.
see how you do this.
Perfect. What I like to do is just coat my scallops in a little canola to begin with. Instead of saturating your pan with some oil,
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I agree with that. That's for sure.
lightly seasoned.
And that's just salt and pepper. you've got
Salt and pepper, that's
Yeah.
correct.
So Ken, why would you use canola as opposed to something like olive oil?
I find some dishes the olive oil becomes super bitter when it's heated too high.
Right.
Yeah.
And becomes overpowering. So myself, I like to cook with canola.
That's right.
And then garnish and finish with a nice
Yeah.
fruity olive oil as my flavor
Yeah.
profile of choice.
That's a very astute thing to do, I think.
We got a nice golden color here on our scallops.
I see that because you're pressing them right in there, aren't you?
Yes, that's correct. I like to cook scallops for about 40 seconds each side, so they're still nice and
Yeah.
translucent in
Yeah,
the center
yeah,
when we're
yeah,
done there.
So Ken, with the risotto, does it take longer to do a sunflower seed risotto?
We start with a raw seed, toast them, then cook them down with a little shallot, garlic, lots of stock. Again, like I said, about 4 hours to make the grain nice and tender before it goes to the plate.
Okay.
So
Yep.
we can start to plate the sunflower seeds up
Yeah,
here.
actually, you've got them here, right? Yeah.
Perfect.
So that, and, yeah.
Thank you very much. So again, you can see the grain. We use a nice duck and veal stock because I find our veal stock
Yeah.
is too overpowering on the palate. So I like to cut mine with a little duck stock to make it lighter. So here we are. We give a nice, generous, roughly 2 tablespoons.
Okay, a beautiful plate. Do you want to bring it in the center?
I like
Karl,
the
that?
I like the color of it
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
We have our wild mushroom ragu.
And what have you put in there?
In the fall, we forage some chanterelles and local mushrooms. Now this time of year, we're using king oyster
Oh, okay.
mostly. So I'll give a nice,
Nice.
generous heaping here. We'll flip our scallops. Nice, beautiful golden
Oh my goodness, they are, aren't they, indeed? And what size of a scallop is that one?
We have a U10,
U10, okay.
meaning there's under 10 per
Per
pound.
pound, correct, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we'll just give these a nice quick little sear.
So do you serve much seafood? It's primarily beef that you are
This
serving.
is primarily beef, but this has to be one of our biggest appetizers.
Yeah, yeah.
So right now, I feel our scallops, the chill is gone, and they're at the right consistency.
So can you actually, if you wanted to order a surf and turf type platter, can you?
We have lobster tail, and we will
Right.
have fresh lobsters available to
Right.
add to any steak. So for this dish, with the richness of the risotto and the mushroom and the scallop, of course, I like little local partridge berry. So just put a couple around here. Just
Very
tartness, I
warm,
find,
that's for sure. Yeah.
cuts
yeah.
the richness. Then traditionally what we do is just garnish with a little local organic sprout from our organic farm in Portugal Cove. And this is it.
Oh, amazing.
I guess
Very
the
simplistic.
tartness of the partridge berry would really play the same role as, say, a squeeze of lemon. Maybe,
Yes, that's
right?
correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
it just gives it
We like the
balance.
acidity of the partridge berry. And
Yeah,
it helps break through all
palatability
that
as well.
richness
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the cheese, risotto,
It's
mushrooms,
simple,
and scallop.
beautiful, kind of classic-looking appetizer.
That's it. We like
Excellent.
good technique with good flavor.
That's right.
And how long did you say the risotto took to cook? About 5 hours?
Risotto takes about 3.5 to 4 hours on the stove.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
From start to finish.
And a lot of nursing, a lot of stirring. And
Exactly. Not as tedious as a Boreo, but
That's why we
pretty
go to
much the same.
restaurants. We like guys like this to do all that, right?
do all the hard work.
Absolutely.
Okay. We'll have a little taste here. I'm just going to taste this risotto because I'm so curious about it.
Yeah,
But,
yeah,
Ken,
yeah.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's it for this edition of
One chef?
One Critic.
Oh no, now it's my turn. Okay, little partridge
Oh
berry.
my goodness. I love that.
Perfect.
I love the stock, the veal, and wow.
The
That's
duck brings a good
extraordinary.
It's
freshness to
Introductory,
it.
yeah.